Welcome to Sacred Cow Shipyards, where no ship is safe from being taken down to its nuts and bolts. Okie dokie. It's been brought to my attention that I don't actually know a whole lot about, audio mixing, recording, the thing that we're doing here. In my limited defense, I was just mumbling bullshit into the 1MC one day, and one of my minions was like, hey, you should record that and broadcast it over the internet, because, apparently that's a thing people do now. Oh, that's what I'm doing now. Anyways, this has all just kind of happened, and I don't know what I'm doing. So if something I'm doing is obviously wrong, please feel free to let me know. For example, apparently my shit filter is apparently really loud, so I'm going to try and adjust that for this episode, and we'll see how it goes from there. Other things, again, feel free to let me know. I don't know what I'm doing. I tend to find that if you don't know what you're doing, you just keep doing it enough, you'll eventually figure out things that work, but maybe that's not the case in this specific instance. Regardless, constructive criticism is always welcome. I won't even make you take a number from the customer service grenade. I'm nice like that. Anyways, on to the topic of today's episode. We're actually going to do something that I haven't actually done on this thing that I'm doing previously. We are going to talk about a vehicle that I haven't actually watched the canonical content surrounding it before. I am going to do this blind. I'm going to do this on what I've been able to pick up from y'all's informational net that spans your globe. You know, the one that you use to share pictures of cats and argue with strangers. And why is she naked? Well, that's interesting. Anyways, this is going to be exciting. Anywho, I don't actually personally appreciate the, what is that called? Like the cartoon kind of genre of science fiction. It's a personal preference. I more prefer the realistic stuff because, I'm dealing with, viscera on the deck sometimes, so it helps me to escape to have realistic... Wait, no, this doesn't make any sense. Anyways, there's no rationalization for it. Different organisms, and I'm totally an organism, prefer different things. But I don't actually do anime or animated or cartoon or whatever the term du jour is for all that kind of stuff. But this ship has come up enough times from enough people that I figured I should talk about it, even though I haven't actually watched the show yet. So here we are. Apparently, there is an animated TV series in the human Earthworld thing where all of the main characters have overbites. And this actually includes the main ship of the series, which is called the Planet Express. That's actually not a really good name at all. Why is it called the Planet Express? It's really small. I don't get it. Oh, it's a delivery vessel. So it's kind of like the what are those companies called? UPS of the interstellar space. So I guess Planet Express is a company name, because that little tiny thing is not delivering any planet with any degree of expressness. And still, why does it have an overbite? It doesn't have teeth. Or does it? At this point, I'm not really sure. Okay, anyways, it's a not moderately large intergalactic spaceship. Man, I hope you brought enough supplies in that not moderately large space, because galaxies are big and that thing is tiny. Anyways, it can apparently travel at 99% light speed, which isn't that... Wait, hold on. What? They increased the speed of light in 2208? Excuse you what? Some absolute walnut determined that beating the speed of light, which is kind of like one of those constants in the universe, it's literally defined as one of the constants of the universe. You can just give it a higher speed limit, like your what are those really big highways? Your highways. Just upgrade the speed limit of the highway and the photon's going to go faster? That's not how this works. Oh, and the truth is it doesn't actually matter. Because apparently this thing, it looks like a classic, Buck Rogers-esque rocket ship. But apparently those, exhaust cones at the back of it might or might not do anything. Because this ship travels by... Sorry, I'm going to have to read that again. Excuse you, what? Okay, if I actually read this right, we're going to go down a fork of nerdery right now just because I might as well teach y'all something while I'm just f***ing around here. There was a theory proposed by a gentleman whose name I will probably absolutely mutilate. I'm pretty sure it's Miguel Alcubierre. Again, probably not actually Miguel Alcubierre, but fine. Go with it. My pronunciation is always horrible. It's kind of a trademark of this series at this point. Back in 1994 by your accounting, which is totally the wrong accounting, but we'll go with your accounting because this show only shows up on Earth, so yeah, your calendar makes sense. Anyways, this gentleman proposed the idea of taking a pocket of space and keeping it kind of constant, and then forcing the space in front of it to contract really, really fast, and the space behind it to expand really, really fast. And this naturally, I guess, results in motion, because the space that you're not molesting is just sitting there, and then you're like reaching out and grabbing all the space in front of you and scrunching it up and then scooting yourself forward over it, and then it pops out your back. That's a really weird metaphor. Anyways, this is basically how a lot of people have come to rationalize the concept of Star Trek warp drive, where the warp bubble, quote unquote, keeps the ship in a constant space reference. And the ship and its warp bubble travel through space faster than the speed of light because they're not actually moving technically. What they're doing is they're grabbing space in front of them and shoving it behind them. And because of Einsteinian weird physics that y'all might realize might or might not be right or wrong, I'm not going to spoiler that for you, you can get away with that. Well, apparently this Planet Express ship takes this entire concept one redonkulous step further, and the ship doesn't actually move through space, it moves space around it. It doesn't even bother with a bubble, it doesn't even bother with like compressing space in front of it and expanding space behind it. Oh no, it apparently is just relationally fixed, and it forcibly moves the universe around it? Sorry, what? Okay, hold on. How does it actually get away with this nonsense? Because as far as I can tell, the only propulsion this thing has are the rocket-like exhaust nozzles on the back of it. So what is fueling that? Oh my god. Sorry. What? Apparently, this redonkulous ship used to burn dark matter for its fuel. Yeah, about that. Dark matter is basically astrophysicists' way of saying they don't understand why the universe is as heavy it is, so they had to make up something to explain why it is as heavy as it is. And this thing is called dark matter, and a lot of people disagree about its existence and what it's doing and if it's doing anything at all, but apparently this starship just burns dark matter for a reaction drive that makes the universe move as opposed to the ship moving. Oh no, we're not done. It gets worse. You see, apparently, because magic happened here, dark matter stopped being an acceptable fuel for this particular vehicle, so they went on to using whale fat. Whale fat. Like those enormous mammal things that swim through your Terran oceans. The things that were part of, oh god, what Star Trek was that? The Voyage Home? What number was that? I have honestly lost track. There was literally a Star Trek movie entirely dedicated to like saving the whales or some nonsense because of when it came out. And here this thing is consuming whale fat as fuel. Yeah, okay. You could do that. And wait, what? This thing has an elephant detector as a standard piece of equipment? Because we all know that elephants occur on so many planets. And oh no, wait, what? the elephant detector actually has the ability to differentiate between elephants and hairy elephants, because if you wanted to track down a woolly mammoth, this would be one way to do it. What? What? And the AI interface is not only just the red glowing eye from Hal. They actually woke it up and gave it full sapience at some point, and apparently it decided to get romantically involved with the only other robot main character on the series, and that all fell apart, and then they had to wipe the ship's AI to make the ship behave right. Wow. Okay. So when some people's romantic relationships get in your way, you squishies just delete those people and move on with your lives? Because that's a thing you can do. So, yeah, we're not even going to get into all the different rooms this starship has, and the fact that it is, in fact, a starship, and apparently has a submarine mode, which came up in one of the episodes where someone was, like, diving into an ocean, and they're like, how many atmospheres can this withstand? And someone else was like, well, it's a spaceship, so 1. Because it's a spaceship. It's only supposed to be able to withstand 1 atmosphere, because there's only 1 atmosphere between you and vacuum. Once you go into oceans, it gets a lot more complicated and a lot more atmosphere-y. Yeah. I don't get this thing. I'm told the series that this thing appears in is good. I don't know. I haven't watched it. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't, because, man, the ship's just weird. And that's all from Sacred Cow Shipyards. Please be advised that any ship left on the dock for more than 24 hours will be compressed to a cube. Have a good day.